We're taking a look at a couple movie trailers. YouTube removes the messaging system, Trump denies the Eagles, Miss America makes some big changes, and as a Patreon exclusive, IHOP changes their name to IHOB. All that and more on this week's episode of the Recently Canceled Podcast.
The Recently Canceled Podcast with Vaughn.
Hey, how goes it? So let's just dive right in here with trailer talk. Some new trailers have come out of Sony Pictures, this hot mess of a studio, acquired TriStar, Columbia Pictures some time back, and now they seem to be just making the worst movies possible, aren't they? Just a misstep in every direction. Well, now they have The Girl in the Spider's Web. I'm recording this on the 7th of June, and this came out just earlier today. Released on Twitter, I feel like, in kind of like a 4x3 or a square view. Twitter is a terrible platform for releasing a movie trailer. No video on there comes out looking good. It's always highly compressed. So you end up having to look at YouTube, which we all know is compressed in its own right. But I'm confused about where this lies. The Girl in the Spider's Web is a continuation or sequel of some kind to the American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now, the odd thing there is, wasn't it a Swedish movie? I think they had like 3 Swedish made-for-TV films. I think they were made for TV. They might not have been, I'm not totally sure, but they had 3 films based on these Millennium novels. And the writer died, I believe, before the movie even came out, before the books were finished. I think they were all published after his death. And now they're like, look, we kind of want to follow up this property. We failed to actually make this into a franchise with Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig. And we had some star power there in Daniel Craig, and now we've just gone like, shit, screw star power. On first appearance, I wasn't even sure if this looked like a theatrically released movie. Like, this looked to me a little bit like I could see the money falling out of it. Like, I could actually envision how much money Sony's going to not make, so they kept it cheap, I'm guessing. You got this gal, Claire Foy, Golden Globe winner Claire Foy. I'm going to let you in a little secret. Everybody's winning a Golden Globe now. And it has been that way. There's too many damn categories. There's a bunch of bullshit. It's not just Best Actress. It's Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy. Best Actress in a Drama. Best Actress in a Made-for-TV movie. Best Actress in a Made-for-TV movie that's a comedy. It goes on and on. There's no real value. It's just an award show like any of the country music shows where it's like, look, we've got an excuse to get Carrie Underwood to come over here and sing some songs on TV. Let's also give somebody an award. We'll just, hey, we don't really want to pay you to do the songs, but you know what? If you get an award, will you show up? Because we can market that. We can get some advertisements going. How about we do it that way? That's the way the award shows work. Oh, look, we can get a whole lot of stars in a room together. Every once in a while, one of them walk on stage and say some awkward jokes. So, in the Golden Globes case, it's just let's get drunk. She's assuming the role of, Lisbeth Salander. I watched the first film in the trilogy from Sweden, but this isn't even one of those. It's like, what was it? The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, The Girl Who Played with Fire. Those were the follow-ups to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And we're not getting an American remake of those. Instead, we're going an original film route. So does this recognize the events of those movies or books? Are we picking up after all this stuff? And without the star power of Daniel Craig, is anybody going to see this? I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of interest in the brand. It's been a few years. Was that 2011 when we had The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? I think it was 2011. Might have been 2012 at the newest. I mean, really dragging our feet here, Sony. Oh, but you had to, you couldn't leave that alone, right? To one up it, I guess this came out first, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Wow. This trailer, have you guys seen this? This is, I think it's CGI done so jerky or at a low frame rate to try to give it the look of stop motion. Like, it looks like a, what is it, aardvark film? Who is it that, yeah, isn't that the name of their studio? The guys who usually do the the Pirates, Wallace and Gromit. Yeah, are they trying to go for that look? Like, you got this guy, I guess it's Miles Morales, and he's like, "Hey, I saw Spider-Man." Now Spider-Man's like training me to be a Spider-Man because where he comes from, he's Spider-Man, and I'm supposed to be Spider-Man in my universe. And then there's like other dimensions, and then at some point Gwen Stacy shows up, and she's like, "Hey, I'm also a Spider-Woman with a hoodie. Hey, if you were upset about me dying before, well, guess what? Now we have a story where I'm alive." Oh, jeez. This doesn't look like the art style that puts butts in seats either. I think you need a very realistic approach with your animation, or something that's endearing and charming, a la Pixar, in order to really sell the tickets. And this looks almost like if you went with a CGI approach to those DC straight-to-video Batman animations. It kind of makes me think of that in some way. Yeah, this looked a little outside the box, both in concept and execution. But is this concept any good? Doesn't it devalue Spider-Man to have a shitload of Spider-Mans? Spider-Men, Spider-Lady, Spider-Boy? It's like I've been telling people, in Iron Man, it's like, wow, okay, Tony Stark's Iron Man because he has the reactor in his chest, so that it powers the suit, and okay, only he can be Iron Man. Then by Iron Man 2, oh, hey, Rhodey, you get to be Iron Man. Only we're going to call you War Machine. Okay, cool. Then Iron Man 3, oh, hey, we don't even need Iron Man. The suits are autonomous now, and they can do whatever they want, and we'll just fly everything by remote. Yeah, Iron Man doesn't matter. If you have a lot of Spider-Men, then Spider-Man's not special. And didn't it always ever seem that there could be a lot of Spider-Men? Because he got bit by a radioactive spider, and that gave him the powers. And I mean, are there not more of these spiders? Do they not have the potential to bite a lot of people? Why is there a multiverse in Spider-Man? Is this like trying to be some kind of way to justify the live action route that the MCU is now picked up with the Spider-Man franchise? Because if you remember, as I do, I recall saying that this was going to happen like 7 years ago. There's a video of me saying, hey, eventually these superhero films are going to have branching out franchises here. They're going to have like a serious version of Spider-Man and a funny version of Spider-Man, because they play these angles in the comics, and they're going to be able to use the comics to justify it. They're going to say, oh, look, there's 10 different Batman comics each month. You get a different flavor Batman with each. Whichever ones you like, subscribe to those, pick them up at your store, whatever. Because they can do that in the comic books, and these are comic book characters, comic book properties, they're going to use the same justification. Oh, hey, well, now we've got 2 flavors of Spider-Man. No, it's not like we fired one guy, and now we have him replaced with this CGI Spider-Man brand. No. We're going to have that Tom Holland kid. He's going to be Spider-Man over there, but we're also going to have a Spider-Man over here. That's the angle they're doing now. Don't be surprised if... Well, I would say this would actually have to be kind of a hit, and I don't think it's going to be, but suppose this becomes a hit, then we could see this branch out a lot of different directions. I guess you could say that Batman did this first. As there's a Lego Batman, and then you have Affleck Batman. So one of them taken a little more seriously than the other. Yeah, I guess Lego Batman's really quite serious. I don't see this making money. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. No one ever really thought of Spider-Man as working in these terms. And Spider-Man's rogue gallery is so lame that they totally screwed up how Venom functions. Venom should be an enemy to Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie. The sole enemy. And then if you want to turn him into an anti-hero, which apparently Sony wants to do in the standalone Venom movie, he needs to earn that. He needs to have the face turn. He starts a heel, he turns good-ish, and then you give him that movie instead of just being, oh hey, we have an origin and he's kind of a bad outside the law hero here, the Punisher a la Venom. That's what we want to do. I think they're going about this the wrong way. They've said, look, Spider-Man has such weak-ass villains to fight. Let's just have a whole lot of Spider-Man and maybe his... does he have a villain to deal with here? Or is it more like, let's have Spider-Man mentor a Spider-Boy? But there's also this thing going where they're like, we can't have a Spider-Man. Spider-Man always has to be a kid. So why ever name him Spider-Man if you're never going to make him a man? That's lame shit. Okay, this is going to be really half-assed, but I'm back talking on Saturday the 9th, and now I want to mention the Halloween trailer. So we're adding this to the trailer talk, and this is a hot mess, and I'll tell you why. When or what is this? You've titled your movie Halloween. We already have a Halloween. We have a Halloween remake. It got a sequel that was completely terrible. There were several films in the original Halloween series, so we canceled the Halloween remake lineage. And now we've stepped back into the original Halloween timeline, but where? Now we have, because I was under the impression that Jamie Lee Curtis was checked out of this series, but now we're saying, oh hey, everything after the first movie didn't happen. Why is this just Halloween again? Is branding gotten so bad that the title doesn't matter as long as it's the same as the franchise? So we just want to confuse everybody here. Let's just have another Halloween. No, we're not going to call it anything. We're basically doing Halloween H2O again, but we're acting like H2O didn't happen. We're acting like, as they say in the trailer, that Michael Myers was stopped with a gun and has spent the last 40 years locked up in the insane asylum. So the events of even Halloween 2 didn't even happen. He was stopped that night and with a gun and locked up. No, he didn't go to the hospital and kill a bunch of people. Nothing after that, huh? 4, 5, H2O. What was there, a resurrection in there somewhere? I hadn't seen that Resurrection. I think that was the title from the 2000s with Busta Rhymes. I hadn't seen that. I heard that Laurie Strode, the Jamie Lee Curtis character, falls down the stairs and dies. So we're completely disregarding that, right? And she has a different family here than we saw with Josh Hartnett in H2O. This is some kind of weird James Bond, we don't know what to call this reboot effort. Hey, it's a reboot, but we have characters being played by the same actress, like Dame Judi Dench as M, to confuse everybody about when James Bond's timeline even exists, if there even is such a thing. Oh, man. I mean, isn't this written by Danny McBride? Wasn't he brought on to write some script, and this is what he came up with? let's insert it after the first Halloween, but there's really nothing here to tell the audience that's what we're doing. We kind of have to guess with this stuff. Now we have to go into movie franchises going, oh, so which ones are we ignoring for this one to make sense? When does this take place? Like, you remember when there was that talk of an Aliens sequel that would usurp Alien 3? So it'd write off Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection and anything that came after it. Like, we're playing fast and loose with time travel over here. We have series that don't even involve time travel, and we're asking for people to create alternate realities. That is how out of ideas they are in Holly Stupid. All right, let's move along here. So YouTube has sent me this little disclaimer when I go into the YouTube studio thing, you know, where I check all my thumbs down I'm getting, all the death threats. Yeah, the less imaginative ones I go ahead and report. I report more. I mean, you may think that I respond to every comment that comes in, but I probably report more comments at this point than I respond to. Because, let's face it, I'm not in the comment responding business. I am a content creator, and at YouTube, that means entirely expendable. Now, suppose you want to hook up with somebody, and I'm not like that, but I'm saying collaborate. How do you get in touch with somebody to collaborate, right? You message them. Well, you can't message them on YouTube anymore. They just said, look, the system wasn't being used much. Well, I'll tell you why it wasn't being used much, because it was set up shitty. You can hardly tell you got a notification of a private message on YouTube. I mean, I'd have to open up the page and check on it as though it was email from pre-smartphone and you didn't have any kind of notification. Just, okay, well, I got to look at my inbox and, okay, I don't have anything. Surprise. That's the way their messaging system works. And yeah, if it's going to be that outmoded, then maybe no one's going to use it. But it was nice to be able to have that feature so that you could try to build some kind of friendship with people. You know, most of the creators that I'm cool with, one way or another, I or they approached me in the YouTube private messaging system. Now all they get is a flood of comments, and they're never going to know if it's from you, or you'll never be able to approach anybody. I feel like YouTube does this type of shit to weed out the little guys. They're still playing this game of, hey, you can be a star on YouTube. They don't want you to try. They would rather you just go, oh, look, there's some established stars on YouTube. I guess I'll watch them. Oh, hey, you can upload to this? Yeah, but they make it such a pain in the ass. I'll just watch YouTube. Google wants YouTube to be Netflix. And the more features they remove, like the editor, make this into Netflix. You have your YouTube original Red series bullshit with a nostalgia play a la Cobra Kai, which I said I watched the first 2 episodes and I found it not bad. But I realized the danger of enjoying something like this, or to sign up for YouTube Red so you can watch it. I realize this is taking views away from people who have earned it, rather than getting something financed through YouTube to make some kind of let's cash in on everybody's good feels. I understand the dilemma here, and I'm the bad guy for pointing it out. So that's the way this shit works. Other news. Donald Trump denies the Eagles. No, I'm not talking about witchy woman. I'm talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Super Bowl champions defeated Tom Brady and the Patriots. And I guess it's quite the upset. You know, you had a backup quarterback. I'm eating a cheese stick, guys. This Sargento cheese. You know what? My grocery store gets rid of so much food that I eat. They got rid of Mountain Dew Throwback. Then they realized I like these Sargento cheese sticks. Got rid of them. Got rid of the yogurt I was eating. Got rid of the protein bars I was eating. It's just like, hey, what does Vaughn eat? Let's quit selling it to him. Shit. Well, I mean, they brought back Sargento cheese sticks, and it's not the ones I was eating, but it's mozzarella. Fairly quiet snack. You know, it's not potato chips. Why do they sell potato chips at like, or any bag of anything in that foil at like a movie theater? Just noisy shit. So, Nick Foles, the backup quarterback for the Eagles, who won Super Bowl MVP, was the only Eagles player expected or confirmed to be in attendance to meet Donald Trump, the sitting president, who won the Electoral College vote and became the right president of the United States. Because it's cool to not like Trump. The media has a war against him, so if you want to be in with the media, you have to be on their team. Nick Foles, you know, I guess he's playing to the beat of his own drum. He's kind of a strange fellow. He strikes me as that kind of like old school Christian type athlete who isn't going to be playing by these PC rules. Going to Trump is an endorsement of Trump. Now you have to lose your job, all this other shit. And then LeBron James has to chime in because it doesn't even deal with his sport, and he's an ass. LeBron James, I know I brought this up before. I hate LeBron James like the Jews hate Hitler. Totally fair comparison. They never met Hitler. I never met LeBron. But this guy, King Blames, all right? He's losing in the finals. As of this recording, hasn't lost yet, but I hope his ass gets swept for the second time. Shit. It's all I need help. Hey, I can only carry this team so high, you know? Like, I can only do so much to pick up this team. This is not the way leaders talk. Michael Jordan did not sit around and talk to reporters about how he's better than his team. How does Kevin Love feel? Why should anyone want to play with LeBrick if he is just going to be throwing you under the bus first? That's what being a teammate to LeBron is. It's, hey, I need help. Oh, hey, well, you got me an all-star? Shoot, you call this an all-star? Like, that's his attitude. What a prick. If you are a fan of LeBron James, unsubscribe and shit. And I guess since I'm here talking about it on a Saturday, gotta mention that the Cavs lost the NBA Finals. So you probably heard me earlier mentioning that I don't know who's going to win or lose for certain, but hopefully the Cavs get swept. And they did. So now King Blames has been swept in the finals twice. Oh wait, Michael Jordan didn't even get to a Game 7. He wouldn't even allow that shit. Oh, but LeBron James is the chosen one, remember? Because that's what SportsCenter, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, all the newspapers want to tell you, because he's the current thing and he's putting out the news now, and that's how they make their money. Because Michael Jordan isn't generating the news. He's retired, right? So this is how the news works and how they create this artificial deity that everybody worships. And then at the press conference, LeBron James walks out there with a hand cast. Oh, hey guys, it's all right that I lost. I wasn't at 100%. It's like Goldberg losing. It's like, oh, hey, no one can beat Goldberg except for Brock Lesnar once, and it's like in his retirement match. Nobody can beat Goldberg unless they cheat. He's not at 100%. They ganged up on him. They pulled out a jackhammer. Who knows? A sledgehammer, right? LeBron James, oh, hey, well, I lost because my hand was hurt. Because, like an idiot, I had a hissy fit when I found out we had a timeout and J.R. Smith was doing the wrong shit with the ball, and I had to throw the team under the bus, and I punched a dry erase board and hurt my hand because I'm a complete dumbass who has to find excuses and blames people for my shortcomings. Even if you are a good player and you're the chosen one and you're great, Michael Jordan didn't sit around and say, hey, I can't beat this team in the playoffs because I don't have help. hey, you guys got to get me some help. I can't do it on my own. I can't pick up this team any more than I am. Real leaders and winners don't talk like that. Now, privileged assholes do. His ass has to chime in. Hey, whichever one of us wins, we ain't going to see Trump either. And then, like, the media runs with that. Headlines come in. LeBron blasts Trump. I mean, look, it was just something as simple as, well, we're not going to go to the White House. We have no plans to go to the White House. And it's like, oh, no, he did not. God damn it. The media is so terrible at reporting facts. It's got to be one of two things here. They're definitely wanting to twist the narrative to get you to think like they think, okay? But there's also this hyperbole in the headlines where everything is on blast. Disses this guy. Totally destroys this. It can be a simple comment and it turns into something like Carrie Underwood destroys acne with facial scar you can't even see. How does she... I mean, it's like, what the hell? This world is so awful. LeBron James is a big reason why. I don't care what you say. Yeah, so for Trump, it's a preemptive move. Hey, look, Eagles aren't going to be showing up in numbers. It's going to look bad on camera. Go ahead and deny their invitation preemptively. I don't want you here because of your stance on kneeling at the national anthem. Get out of here. That's really the only thing Trump could do. Like, preemptively deny them and make it look like it's because you didn't want them here. You know, knowing that they weren't going to be here. I mean, if you were in Trump's position, wouldn't you do the same thing? Hey, it's going to be a bad look on camera. Fine. You're not allowed. Also want to talk about the changes to Miss America. So, Gretchen Carlson, who it hadn't dawned on me had won Miss America before. But, and this is going to sound super mean here, but the Miss USA is clearly a beauty pageant. Like, the girls there are usually gangly tall, which is a little more than I want. But, you know, they try to make sure their face, body is like total smoke show, right? Miss America is a little more of a personality thing. And you get a lot of these news people, like almost any gal that's a sideline reporter on sports, anchors local news, any of this stuff, they were in pageants. They got into the reporting biz by being presented on a stage. That's where, and if they weren't, they don't get the promotions. I shit you not. So, she was over at Fox News, accused some guys of saying some mean stuff, right? Some harassment things. Like, there was all this weird stuff. Like, you had one guy who, it's like the lovely Gretchen Carlson that ticked her off. And now she's leading the Miss America pageant. Because, well, also, there were some emails coming out from the guy who was running the thing, and he was saying derogatory things. And it's like, really? If you're going to say some stuff, don't record it. Don't post it online. Don't write it down. Jesus. I mean, anything that's going to get me in trouble, I'm going to tell you it's going to get me in trouble up front. But I try to, like, skate that line, right? That fine line of, well, maybe he's not an asshole. Yeah, he is. So, she got put in charge as this kind of, like, preventive measure to keep the pageant alive and relevant. And hadn't it been getting kicked around on multiple networks? I think it might got kicked off into country or streaming at one point. But she says, hey, we're not going to be doing this body shaming stuff anymore. This putting gals out there to be objectified. We're getting rid of the bikini contest, the swimsuit contest. You know, there was a swimsuit contest, and then it became a bikini allowed thing. but some of them still ran around like Pamela Anderson in Baywatch with the one piece. And at some point we decided, oh hey, that's wrong. We can't be doing that. We're judging girls. During a contest about judging hotness, we have decided that judging hotness is bad. The hell. Oh, that's not enough. Let's get rid of the evening gown too. Which, I mean, why the hell not just have a lingerie or a Hooters contest? Like, there was a Hooters contest. There was this gal, I think her name was Michelle Nunes, who won this like Hooters bikini contest thing, and they had a really good prize. It was like $50,000 a year for life. That's better than what you get out of Miss America, where it's like, hey, you already graduated high school, you've been paying your student loans for 5 years. Here's a little bit to help you, right? We're going to call it a scholarship contest. I find this just really weird that we have to be walking on pins and needles so much right now that everybody's looking to be offended. Everybody wants an apology. And we used to go around calling this being a victim, and now it's being a survivor. You're a survivor of Harvey Weinstein. Sure. Was he going in there with knives, stabbing weapons? Did he have a bomb? Did he have a gun? No. None of this stuff happened. Why are we survivors now? Oh, because we're strong. So yeah, we now have a beauty pageant that is not about beauty. Shh. This is the real world right now. God damn it. So that does it for the free version of the recently canceled podcast. If you want to hear me rant about IHOP becoming IHOB, go ahead and hit up the Patreon. It's $1 a month. Gets you full access to the full episodes and the archives of the recently canceled podcast. They're all posted there on Patreon. Just $1 a month. It helps me out a lot.